Hi, I'm Al Woods of Woods Recruiting, and the college recruiting process sucks. It always has, it always will be. That will never change. The reason is because recruiting process is very complicated, extremely challenging. There are many twists and turns along the way, and it's very complex. So many parents of student athletes don't even bother with the recruiting process and would rather pass it off onto the high school coach or somebody else. Generally, they're going to push that responsibility onto the high school coach. So when the high school coach does very little because they're only concerned about winning the games, developing players, and winning the games, that's all the high school coach wants to do. And they're not going to do anything with recruiting. They're not going to handle recruiting responsibilities because they're not getting paid to do that. I mean, they're only going to make X amount of dollars coaching football or basketball or whatever, and that's it. Anything else, that's just they're not going to do. If they do get themselves involved with recruiting, it's very limited. It's not a whole lot. They may make a phone call or two, write a letter, send an email, but nothing really in depth. They just are not going to do it. I mean, because it's complicated for them as well, and it's very time consuming. So when the recruiting process is not working out for the parents' satisfaction, to their satisfaction, they become frustrated and angry and pissed off because they're not getting the results, because they believe the high school coach, who is supposedly the expert, knows what they're doing. And when they don't, then that's when we have problems with recruiting. So what can a parent do? Handle the recruiting process themselves. Get recruited for college requires a strategy and a plan, basically. What is your strategy to get recruited? What is your plan? Most parents of student athletes, when they are now put in the responsibility of handling the recruiting process, they try to figure out what to do. Think about recruiting as this big, giant jigsaw puzzle that has thousands and thousands of pieces. I mean, it will take you forever and a day to put that puzzle together. And so you're going to mess up. You're going to lose some pieces. You're not going to work on it every day. And it could take years to complete that puzzle. That's what recruiting is. So if you don't have a strategy or a plan, you're going to be lost. That's just how it is. So what are you going to do? What is your strategy? What is your plan? Most parents don't have a clue. I mean, it is your son, it is your daughter that you are responsible for. And you have to figure out what exactly are you going to do. Sure, you can hold out hope and rely on the high school coach for help, but if that help doesn't come, then what are you going to do? You're going to be lost. You're going to be behind in the recruiting process. So most parents give up on the recruiting process. They give up on the recruiting process. They give up on the recruiting process because it's hard. It's challenging. So what should you really do? Now, many parents, they used to take on the recruiting process themselves by trying to contact college coaches and writing emails and writing profiles and doing it themselves to very little success. What should you do? I'm suggesting that you go with Woods Recruiting. We've been in business since 1989. We've helped thousands of high school student athletes get recruited and get placed in college. We will leave no stone unturned in getting your son or daughter as much exposure as possible to college coaches. This is what we do for a living. We do it every day.